Alright, so I'm going to run it back with this footage that I used in my last video. Obviously, if you guys have any complaints about it, take it up with the front office. But I'm going to be giving my 2 cents on the big controversy that's going on right now in the NBA when it comes to gambling. So, before I cover it, there has been a lot of suspicious stories when it comes to gambling, not just with the NBA, but there was an incident a couple of years ago where Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless discussed it on Undisputed, where it was like a total of 6 NFL players that were suspended because they were gambling on their own team. Calvin Ridley being one of them, and Jamison Williams being one of them. And then we had a bit of controversy in Major League Baseball when it came to Shohei Ohtani and his interpreter. And I'll make my video glazing Wemby and Ohtani later on. But obviously, Shohei wasn't a part of that, but because of how bad that situation got, Shohei Ohtani's interpreter was pretty much kicked off of Shohei's PR team. So there has been a lot of gambling, betting issues when it comes to players being in the league. But if you guys are not familiar with what's going on, I'm going to read you guys an article from USA Today, and I may read you a couple articles because this investigation is ongoing. So let's kick things off with this article that I'm about to read from USA Today. The NBA world woke to explosive news that the FBI had secured more than 30 indictments tied to alleged illegal gambling scandals, linking 3 current and former prominent NBA figures. Current Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups, current Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, and former NBA player Damon Jones. Obviously, for those of y'all that don't know who Damon is, Damon was LeBron's teammate in those early Cavs years, and he was I didn't watch that Cavaliers run entirely, but I'm pretty sure he was a good piece to have off the Cleveland bench with his shooting. I that's how much I know about Damon Jones, but that's neither here nor there. They all were arrested yesterday, Thursday, October 23rd, for their alleged involvement in the operation, though they are facing different charges. FBI Director Kash Patel and the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of NY, Joseph Nocella Jr., announced the indictments Thursday in a press conference. The case creates a massive ripple effect across the league, not only for Chauncey and Terry Rozier, but for the NBA's public perception. I ain't going to read the full article, y'all, because I want to get through a couple more articles that I believe is going to be really relevant to what I'm talking about today. Obviously, everything about this case is relevant, but if you guys want to read the full article, links in the description below. But I'll read you some of the parts that I felt like were important to discuss in this video. So, in the same USA Today article, a spokesperson for the Justice Department said that Chauncey, Terry, and Damon Jones are expected to make a court appearance later later Thursday, which obviously was yesterday. Obviously, both Chauncey and Terry have been placed on immediate leave, and more than likely, their career is donezo, fam. Their careers are gonna be over when this case is all said and done. But I'm gonna continue on with this article because we're about to get in the nitty gritty parts of this article. So, what charges? What are the charges Chauncey is going to face? Though the indictment filed in the Eastern District of New York does not specify the individual counts for the alleged participants, Chauncey was charged in connection with an illegal poker operation tied to the mafia. That one's crazy, bro. The charges in this scheme, according to Joseph Nocella Jr., include wire fraud, conspiracy, illegal gambling, money laundering, robbery, and extortion. Beginning as early as 2019, defendants allegedly used wireless cheating technology to run rigged poker games in places including the Hamptons, Miami, Las Vegas, and Manhattan. As far as Terry Rozier and Damon Jones go, Terry Jones and others allegedly committed fraud by betting based on insider information about NBA athletes and teams from around December of 2022 to March of 2024. The non-public information included when players would be sitting out future games or when they would pull themselves out early based on purported injuries or illnesses. Terry is accused of manipulating his performance during an NBA game to benefit illegal betting. This particular game took place on Thursday, March 23rd of 2023, when Terry was a member of the Charlotte Hornets. He averaged 35 minutes a game and 21 a game that season and entered the night with no injury designation. He started the game, but he only played 9 minutes, or 9.5 minutes to be specific, before he left the game with a supposed foot injury. He ended up not returning and would subsequently miss the remaining 8 games of that particular season. That night, Terry Rozier just only took 4 shot attempts, making 2 of them, scored 5 points while adding 4 rebounds and 2 assists. And I think there was like another article, and I've been hearing Scap Attack's report on it. I'm not the biggest Scap Attack guy, but I watched his video. I watched the Flight Mike's video. And then a few others. I think That Good Sports as well. I think one of them said that Terry helped these bettors win $200,000 in money, and then he helped count up the cash or some crazy stuff like that, bro. But moving on, what about Damon Jones? Former Cavs player and coach Damon Jones is allegedly implicated in both schemes. I'm assuming it's the ones that Chauncey and Terry got themselves into. In the insider sports betting conspiracy, Damon Jones allegedly provided non-public injury information about the status of 2 NBA players in NBA games per federal indictments. Based on public injury information USA Today Sports have reviewed from the dates of those games, those players may have been LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Damon Jones allegedly used his access with the Lakers and their top players to help orchestrate the operation, with the focus being a game on February 9th of 2023 between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Milwaukee Bucks. According to the indictment, Jones allegedly texted gamblers that player 3, I wonder who that would have been, I don't know if that was LeBron or AD, would not be playing in that game. Player 3 is identified in the indictment as a prominent NBA player with whom Jones had been teammates and coached. Damon Jones played with LeBron for the Cleveland Cavaliers over 3 seasons. I alluded to that earlier at the beginning of the vid, and served as an unofficial Lakers coach during the 2022-23 season, according to the indictment. Wow, I didn't even know that. What? At the time of the text message, player 3 had not been ruled out of that game against the Bucks. So let me know, y'all, in the comments below. Is he, when he says player 3, is he referring to Bron? Is he referring to AD? Because I know that was like after we traded Russ and Pat Bev, so it could not have been like D'Lo or something, because D'Lo came out of the woodworks later. But let me know in the comments. Jones is also alleged to have tipped off gamblers about the participation of player 4 ahead of a game on January 15th of 2024 involving the Lakers and the OKC Thunder. Jones claimed to have learned from a team trainer that player 4 was injured and was going to play limited minutes during that game. Identified in the indictment as one of the Lakers' best players during the 2023-24 season, player 4 was listed as probable on the team's injury report. AD was the only Laker listed as probable on that game's injury report. Haha, insert your comments about AD being street clothes in the comments below. Damon Jones allegedly sold that information for fraudulent gambling purposes, even though AD played and finished the game with 27 points and 15 rebounds. So there's also an article on USA Today that talked about the 30 people total that were arrested, with Damon, Chauncey, and Terry being among those people. I don't want to disclose their names right now because I don't want to be in that type of crosshair, especially with the climate that we're in now. But I'll link the article below with those said names. I'm not going to include a screenshot of that or say their names at all outside of Damon, Chauncey, and Terry. But you guys get the idea. The NBA has been involved in this type of scandal. Again, this has been kind of a prominent issue, honestly, for the last 2 years. Because like I alluded to earlier, there was a scandal back in 2023 involving NFL players being a part of that type of scandal too. Again, Calvin Ridley and Jameson Williams being among that. And then you had the incident with Shohei Ohtani's interpreter. And then recently we had something with Michael Porter Jr.'s brother, Jontay Porter. I don't know much about the Jontay situation. I know Scap Attack covered it a little bit. Dreamers Pro, I don't know if Dreamers Pro covered it at all. But I know Scap Attack and Flight Mike said a few things about it, and then That Good Sports as well. Or I think that's that channel's name as well. So we have those things, and now we have something like this. But let me address both sides of the article, or both sides of the opinion. And I'm about to share the same opinion that Rusty Buckets put out. There's an opinion from USA Today that literally shared their sentiments about this. And my guy Jeff Pearlman, shout out my man Uncle Jeff. And those sentiments are, this is what happens when you make betting, when you legalize betting to this extent. Now, what do I mean by that? I do not have a problem if you want to put some money on PrizePicks. I don't have a problem if you want to put money on DraftKings. I don't have a problem if you do things with like FanDuel and all that other stuff. Okay, fine. I get it. Whatever. But when you allow it to the extent, to the point where athletes have access to it, oh, and I forgot to mention, Malik Beasley got in trouble with the NBA this past offseason because he himself had a betting scandal too. And a lot of people pointed it out, not just when he was with Detroit, but when he was with the Lakers and then before the Minnesota Timberwolves. There were apparently he had like his betting scandals dated as far as back to when Malik was on the Timberwolves back in 2021 or something like that. But regardless, when you allow this type of stuff to an extent, what do you think is going to happen when you see these not just the NBA, but you see the MLB and then the NFL and then hockey? You see them promote these type of gambling websites and gambling ads and gambling apps and all of the above. What do you think is going to happen, bro? It just feels like these players feel like, oh, okay, I can make a little extra money on the side even though I have $1 million, which makes no sense at all. And my man Uncle Jeff put it beautifully. With LeBron's partnership on DraftKings, it's just like, dog, like, Bron, you are my guy, but do you really need all that money from that type of sponsorship? And like Bill Simmons from he brought Bill Simmons as well. He does this type of thing as well. And then you have ESPN Bet, and then you have all this other stuff, man. And it's just like it's kind of funny too that he brought ESPN Bet because while they were talking about the segment on First Take yesterday, they ironically had the ESPN Bet logo thing on the ticker, like right where you can like see the headlines and the final scores and yada yada yada. They had the ESPN Bet under the ticker, and then as soon as they got into the nits and grits of that conversation, they immediately removed it, which is kind of hilarious because that's what you call reading the room right there. But no, seriously, when you are basically in bed with sports betting apps, it causes so much corruption. And I actually watched a few videos about how sports betting ruined the lives of young men. I am 24 years old. I used to be friends with a few dudes that were obsessed with betting because, oh my gosh, I want to make money off of watching sports. Those little kid days are over, or yada, yada, yada. And I remember these mother effers were pressuring me to do that type of stuff, and they essentially made fun of me for not being a part of that. They said, oh my gosh, this dude is scared, and blah, 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 blah. And they said, oh, if you're confident, put some money on it. It's just like everything it's about. Like these dudes are greedy, bro. And I feel like I personally made the right decision by not participating in that type of stuff. Because I knew that I was going to step into a world where I potentially would never get out of. Again, I don't have a problem with y'all on here. If you want to put a few dollars on betting on Nikola Jokic's over, or SGA's under, or Giannis' over, or Ant's under, or Cade Cunningham, or Trae Young, whatever. If you guys want to do that, by all means. But for me, if I were to step into a world like that, it would be an addiction that I would probably never get out of, if I'm being really honest with y'all. And I am so glad I saw. I wonder how those dudes that I used to call friends feel now that they have this type of news out to them. They probably, I'm just like, I told you so, right? That's why I never got into that stuff in the first place, man. And Uncle Jeff said it best. I'm going to repeat those same sentiments on here. I am so tired of everyone making this about, oh my gosh, I just need this guy to give me 4 more points so I can win some money. And then I want this team to win because they're a -5, or a 5.5 point favorite, or whatever the heck. I'm like, dude, just watch the game, bruh. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, not everything needs to be about betting. And I might sound like an old school. I might sound like an old head. I might sound like, oh, this dude's scared to bet. This guy lost money. I don't care if you guys think that about me. I'm still going to get on here and tell you guys my side of the story and what I believe is true to me. If you guys disagree, great. But I am one to not partake in that type of stuff. If you want to gamble in Vegas, fine. I've thrown some money on futures to win the championship in Vegas multiple times. I betted on the Dodgers to win the World Series. That's my only ticket I've ever cashed. I bet on teams like the Lakers, the Warriors, the Grizzlies, and all that other stuff. So I can't come on here and act like I'm some angel. But with me, because I think that was my mistake, showing them that I put money on those teams because they felt like, oh my gosh, the X could be a full-time gambler now. Let's just try to persuade him to join this little Discord and make fun of him because of the fact that, you know, it's not in his best interest. They didn't really respect my opinion. I'm going to be honest with y'all. They never really respected my opinion when it comes to that. So, and I hope that they finally change their tone. But again, I don't want to make this about me because I'm going to go off the rails with this stuff, bro. Because right now, to quote Uncle Jeff, what happened to watching sports for the sake of watching sports? Like, I hate how people want to make money off of watching sports when the main purpose of watching sports is to feel like you can get away from the dark days of reality. You know, when people, you know, with the stuff going on in the U.S. right now, what's been going on with Gaza and Palestine, and all that other stuff, bro. I just feel like sports is a way for people to really feel like they can enjoy something. But now it's just that, oh, we can't watch sports unless if we, you know, unless if Bobby Portis gives me like a triple-double for my parlay, or I bet on Luka and Joker's under. Like, we can't watch sports for the sake of watching sports, bro. It's absolutely egregious and it's absolutely cringeworthy. And here's the sad part about it, bro. And I'm going to be reading another USA Today article, but again, it's an opinion article from this lady named Nancy Armour. The saddest part is that professional athletes, whether it's the NBA or even other sports like the NFL and the MLB, these people are getting death threats from these people. These people do not genuinely love the game. They just want to make a quick buck. A cheap ass way to make money. I'm sorry, I'm so prone to cursing because this kind of personally hits home for me because I was actually, like, again, I had those guys I used to call friends that bullied me into trying to be like them when it comes to gambling when I know it's not in my nature. So I may be prone to cursing, but it's just a lame, cheap ass way to make money, bro. But here's an article, here's Nancy's opinion, or Miss Nancy's opinion about it. Here we go. There was a reason why every sports entity in the United States resisted any association with legalized gambling for as long as they did. They knew the troubles it would bring because they saw it playing out in real time overseas. Corrupt people trying to influence games, gambling addictions, players being threatened or harassed by bettors, and worse, organized crime. Ultimately, though, the money was just too good to pass up. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver even wrote an op-ed in the NY Times in 2014 encouraging the widespread legalization of sports betting. What the frick? Wow, Adam, as if that bozo cannot be hated enough. For the good of humanity, of course. People were already gambling, Adam said, so why not bless it? I believe the sports betting should be brought out of the underground and into the sunlight where it can be appropriately monitored and regulated. Adam, how's that working out for you, buddy? How was that working out for you? Such BS, dog. What's a little integrity when there are billions in potential profits to be had, right? By giving their approval to legalize gambling, the NBA and other leagues might as well have handed an arsonist a match. Okay, that's actually kind of funny, though. There's no daylight between gaming and its toxic byproducts, especially when smartphones make irresponsible gambling and abuse of players so easily. Warnings posted in small print, be they in locker rooms or online, are no match for human fragilities or frailties, or however you say that, temptations and fears. And the NBA owns today's shame as much as Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, and Damon Jones, and as well as everyone else who was arrested. The NBA was well aware of the dangers that come with sports betting, and it didn't care because it wanted the gaming industry's money more. There's no damning indictment than that. There you have it. There you mother effing have it. This is why I will never partake in that type of stuff. And I'd rather watch the game for the love of the game. And the fact that you have guys like Book It with Trent. Like, it's just like, what type of world are we in, bro? To the point where we have mother effers like Book It with Trent literally trying to rig every game. Oh, gosh, bro. That's why I can't respect a guy like that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my thoughts straight, bro. And look, I love Kenny Beecham. I love Rusty Buckets. I love Dreamers Pro. But those guys, I don't want to say they contributed to the problem, but they have sponsored gambling ads before. Dreamers Pro has had a sponsorship with Prize Picks. I've watched his videos many times. I don't know about Kenny and Rusty, but I feel like all of them probably had to do it because it brings them extra revenue. But it's just that, sometimes you have to pick between your morals and money. And I feel like Adam Silver obviously chose money. And it makes sense because the last video I did about Adam Silver, he said, okay, if you guys care that much, just watch highlights. You know what I'm saying? So Adam clearly picked money over integrity. And if you guys disagree with that, then hey, it's all good. But let me address another side of this. As much as I would say Kash Patel could potentially save sports, I'm not going to sit here and act like he's some goddamn angel. Because remember, this is a distraction from the files with our current... I don't want to say too much. I'm not trying to say too much. But because of the hesitancy of releasing the files, y'all know what files I'm talking about, where a lot of people are involved in that, the hesitation because their main guy is in it too, and the guy employed every single last one of them. There's a lot of hesitancy, and it's just that, oh wow, y'all really want to distract us from the fact that not just our current sitting president, but more than likely presidents before are in those files as well. Huh. So y'all really pick and choose what the heck to talk about and what the heck to investigate. That's rich, man. So yeah, I'm not going to praise Kash Patel, even though, yeah, he may have saved sports by conducting this investigation, because sports needs to be saved and there should be corruption that should be taken out of sports 100%, especially when it comes to freaking betting. But I ain't gonna sit here and praise the guy like he's some hero because of what's been going on with the current timeline in America. What's been going on? I'm not gonna sit here and praise him. I'm not going to sit and praise the current administration too. I'm not one to talk about politics on this channel. But if y'all know me, you guys know where I lean. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But man, I hope the NBA... Adam Silver's not going to wake up, and it's not going to have a wake-up call because the guy cares about money. But I hope this serves as a warning for a lot of us viewers and potentially players going forward that this stuff needs to be taken seriously. And I'm just like, and again, dude, bro, Chauncey, Terry, y'all niggas are it's part of my language, but I gotta do it. I gotta do it because I can't. Like, this is starting to get my blood boiling for some reason. But no, seriously, Chauncey, Terry, Damon, y'all niggas are multi-millionaires playing the sport. Chauncey, you a damn Hall of Famer, my G. Terry, nigga, you been in the league for 11 years. Played with Boston, played with Charlotte, now with Miami. And Damon Jones was a solid role player. Y'all niggas made millions of dollars, millions of bucks playing in the league. Chauncey, again, won the championship against my Lakers in 2004, being an integral part of that with Rasheed, with Tayshaun, with Big Ben Wallace. And y'all resort to this stuff, my G? The hell is y'all on, dog? What the hell, man? What in the name of Helly Burton are y'all thinking, dog? God dang, brother. Imagine. Imagine. I'm reading another article from USA Today when Inside the NBA talked about this gambling scandal. And then we have a quote from Michael Thompson, the great Michael Thompson, father of Clay, played for the Lakers. But to quote him, imagine making millions of bucks and then you want to throw all that stuff, you want to throw your career away just for a 10K parlay to win like $200 extra on like props and over unders. Why risk your career when you can make $100 million to $200 million? Michael Thompson said. Wow. It's just, this is, man. I'm just gonna end the video here because it's as long as it's gonna be. But man, be careful with how y'all gamble. And the NBA really has to learn that to take this seriously. And right now, it's a matter of money or morals. And as far as I'm concerned, and again, it's not just the NBA, you can apply it to all the other leagues. Right now, they're choosing money, and it could potentially be blood money going forward if this stuff continues. So I'm just going to leave it there. You guys sound off in the comments what y'all think and give me y'all 2 cents about it. And if you guys disagree with my points, please refute them. I'm willing to have a civil discussion with some of y'all in here. But until then, that's the end of this video. Oh, by the way, I'll make a video glazing Wemby soon and show you Ohtani, but I probably might save it for tomorrow, if anything. But regardless, that's the end of this video. I'm X. Deuces.